I support you. A tale of two friends looking out for each other on an adventure through Kanto with their new trainer, me. Welcome everyone, I'm exceptional and I hope you are too. Today I will be doing something a little different to my usual format. I have another shout out to Kangastan for helping me bring this idea to reality. Thank you for all of your help. This version of Pokémon FireRed is set to have every possible battle be a double battle, of course with live stats, and we're going to be playing through using two Pokémon in the doubles format, starting unevolved and pursuing a round 2 finish. Our adventure begins as usual in Pallet Town. I've collected our new Pokemon, Meditite, who I've nicknamed Diddy. Our only damaging move is Bide, but that's plenty enough to win against the rival here. Then, as we're about to leave Pallet, a strange voice crept into the back of my mind.
Hello? Excuse me? Mr. Trainer? Hi, this is Diddy. Can I come out of the ball?
What the? Sure.
Thanks! So hey, I'm super excited to go on this adventure with you. But see, I have this friend, and we've always looked out for each other. Do you think he could join us?
Well, sure, I guess. Let's go meet him.
Donkey! Donkey, where are you? Ah, there you are! Hey, wanna go on an adventure with us?
Oh, sure, that sounds swell.
Sweet! Come on, join the party!
Right, let's hit the road. With our two new friends, we set off to start the gym challenge. Meditite and Slackoth are not at all suited for a quick early game. As we make our way into the forest, it's time to take a look at our first bit of combat. I make sure to save first because, well, you'll see in a second. As I mentioned, Diddy can only use Bide until level 9 when we learn Confusion. There's a lot of work I want to do on this format if you all enjoy it. Finding room for movesets would be nice, for instance. On Donkey's side of the field, we at least know Stab or same type attack bonus Scratch, but Slackoth's ability is Truant, which makes us take every other turn off. One thing about this format is that I really have to nail down some rules. We were victorious in this battle, but Diddy fainted. I don't feel that that counts as a reset, but that should only be the case when both of my main Pokemon faint. I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to contemplate this on my way back to Viridian to heal already. One thing to note as well is that in any battle where the trainer only has one Pokemon, it will remain as a typical solo-style battle. Also, you may have noticed that we earned a little bit too much money from that last battle. This is actually a bug that we've corrected, I just played on the wrong version of the game. Sorry, Dan. We're gonna be Scrooge McDuck levels of rich by the end of this one. With access to Pewter, I know that we are not going to defeat Brock, but a great way to gauge where you're at is against Camper Liam. He is a slightly weaker Geodude than Brock, and you're about to see how woefully underprepared we are for even marginally tougher battles. One more thing about this run is that I followed my current solo challenge rules, so both of these Pokemon have 0 IVs across the board. Recently, I've received more negative feedback about the 0 IV runs than I did about the 31 IV runs initially, so I'm gonna change it again. Some people have requested random first runs, but that doesn't really work for my format of using the first run for information. This is the 6th video that I've used with the current methodology, and I feel like I've given it a fair shot. I'm over it. Instead, starting after today, I'll be using Pokemon with 15 in every IV, being a perfectly average version of the Pokemon. Camper Liam wipes us out, so I guess it's time to go train in the wild. I don't see Slackoth being much use for us, and while being mindful to not outlevel too much, I start grinding Diddy. Level 9 gives us Confusion, which I feel will dramatically improve our odds against Brock. I'm going to backtrack all the way to Rival 1.5 for his little bit of bonus experience battling along the way. I'm gonna skip all of that though, let's check out Brock. Donkey really isn't going to be doing much at all damage-wise. He's going to be serving another purpose. Encore is tough to nail with him, but Yawn is fantastic. It's going to give us some crowd control, and I want to shut that Onix down. While he's slacking off trying to get others on his level, Diddy is blasting away with Confusions. We continue crunching through the battle, but it's feeling a little one-sided, especially once Onix wakes back up. And we take our second reset of the run. I wiped a few more times, trying at level 10 over the next damage rounding threshold, and left to do a little bit more grinding. In this attempt, we're level 12 with Diddy, now learning Detect. In my wipes, I noticed that if Diddy took damage early, they would tend to focus him a little bit more, so I used Detect turn 1, letting Donkey take some of that damage. This seems to encourage the AI to attack Donkey more, and using the same yawn tactics against both of them, this time we see a successful battle. I kind of love this so far. It's a whole different kind of puzzle. In Mount Moon, I'm going to be doing a little bit of extra collection and battling. So far, our experience has been a bit of an issue, and in the next leg, I'd love to see Donkey level up to 18 and evolve. Another rough bit is that Diddy is part of the medium fast growth rate, which starts slower than most, being trailed by the slightly dead weight feeling Donkey so far. He is in the slow growth rate, which is exactly how it sounds. I was also unaware of using the wrong version at this point, grabbing things like the star piece for money. I am, after all, buying vitamins for 2 this time. It hasn't been all sunshine and daisies running through this cave either. Slackoth isn't doing much for Diddy, while Diddy isn't exactly stellar on his own. We only have a base stat total of 280 after all, and have 0 IVs. I'm saving in front of any battle that can poison me, but even so, this was the closest I got to resetting. I was out of healing items as well, but during the backtrack I walk directly in front of Lass Iris. Oh no. Yeah, I'm done for. No way. I did a quick look in my bags, quickly thinking to myself, did I miss something here? If I did, I'd feel even worse about it, but nope, we are flat out. We're just gonna have to try to win this. Things start looking very bleak, as Clefairy puts us to sleep after knocking us to 1 HP with Double Slap. By some miracle, Lass Iris is absolutely terrible at Pokemon, and we sit at 1 HP, napping until we wake up and take her out over 2 more turns. Get me out of this cave, man. I actually had to backtrack all the way to Pewter for more repels too, but now, 32 minutes into the run, we're finally grabbing the Dome Fossil. An average feeling solo run is usually in the Pokemon Tower/Silphco section right now. I gotta say though, I am having a ton of fun with this format so far, and we are so early. How about you? Outside of the cave are the Mega Tutors. I'm gonna be grabbing both, Punch for Diddy and Kick for Donkey. Donkey isn't moving very often, so the high-power Stab Mega Kick feels like the better option for him. Diddy gets Mega Punch, taking advantage of his ability, Pure Power. This doubles our attack stat in battle. In Cerulean, it's time to face Rival 2 with our new moves. Much to my pleasure, it seems that his usual lead Pidgeotto is accompanied by Abra. Perfect. Abra can't do much of anything but teleport, so this is essentially a 2 versus 1. Our combined Mega moves don't bring down Bird Brains, and though we're exposed to a sound attack, we manage to bring him down and work through his other team members. Abra just sits there, trying to teleport. Poor guy. Rival 2 falls, and we move across Nugget Bridge next. In the next section, I make sure to pull down Camper Flint to gain access to TM43's secret power. This serves 2 purposes. 1, it's going to upgrade Donkey's moveset from scratch, and 2, I'm trying to get a little bit more experience here. I really doubt that Misty is possible without Donkey evolving, but let's give it a shot. Starmie is the biggest threat, so I want to yawn it to sleep with Diddy focusing on damaging. Well, I don't really make it that far, as Starmie outspeeds and one-shots Donkey. Diddy then misses and gets taken out on the next turn. Huh, okay. I run back up to clear more trainers on Route 25 and we evolve into Vigoroth. Stat increases, sure, but no more Truant. Our ability shifts to Vital Spirit so we can't be put to sleep. Much better. This time I'm not interested in putting Starmie to sleep. I want to hard damage that thing until it goes away. Mega Kick from Donkey, Mega Punch from Diddy. Evolved, we tank the double Water Pulse onslaught, hitting Starmie for around half health with Diddy missing. Thankfully, Starmie switches targets, so Donkey takes it out with another kick and Diddy hits true on the hardening Staryu. Okay, we've got this one. It's an easy cleanup after that. Sweet, that is 2 badges.
How are you feeling, Donkey? You're looking a lot more energetic these days.
Oh, I feel great! Is there anything that needs to be done right now? Want to see how fast I can climb that tree? Watch!
Oh, okay, just don't overdo it.
Guys, we're going this way. On the SSN, I decided to do a little bit of additional item collection again. I have no idea what the end of this run has in store for us. As it turns out, I had no idea what the middle of this run had in store for us, but more on that later. It's then time to face Rival 3. Compared to last time, we're evolved and leveled up. Raticate joins Pidgeotto on the field this time, which is much more scary. His Hyper Fangs pack a wallop. During the first turn, I accomplish absolutely nothing, missing with both strikes, then Diddy gets wiped out. This begs another question of the format. I now have HM cheerleaders accompanying me, so if my mains faint, I have to send out one of these. What do I do with them? Just use garbage moves or lowest impact moves as if they aren't there? There are definitely some aspects to this methodology that need to be ironed out. Either way, Donkey falls shortly after for another reset. It appears that the differences in RNG are going to be much more pronounced in these double runs, as in the next battle we absolutely decimate the rival. You may have noticed HP fighting on Diddy. He actually learns hidden power via level up, and because of our 0 IVs, it's fighting with a base power of 30. That's why I also grabbed TM31 Brick Break while I was on the SSN. Down goes the rival, and our sights are set on the next gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. In terms of danger, I felt that Voltorb was more likely to deal pain to us, going after it first. I choose to attack into the same spot with both of our Pokémon in the hopes that if Voltorb faints, I can get a cheeky hit in against Raichu right as he joins the battle. It doesn't quite pan out that way, but hey, Voltorb fell. We're taking some big hits, that's for sure, but we're also able to dish them out. I have my Cherry Berry on Donkey, as he's definitely gone from the dead weight to the one that's carrying our team right now. This run was so interesting in that regard. We're able to get a first try victory against Surge, claiming our third badge. I make sure to grab TM40 Aerial Ace for Vigoroth because we need something that isn't a normal type move. On the other side of Rock Tunnel, I'm also grabbing TM27 Return from the Gatehouse. I bypassed Rock Slide while going through the tunnel. I intend to come back for it, but I wasn't sure if now was the time to teach it. After the typical chores, it's time to dive into the Rocket Hideout. One thing that's becoming very apparent in these double runs is how it's affecting my experience gain. Since we're training 2 Pokémon, everything is halved, and on top of his slow growth rate, Donkey is only level 24 right now. It hasn't really held us back a huge amount yet, but we have 3 badges. There's 5 more, and then the Round 1 League, and then the Round 2 League. But if there's one thing that's for certain, as we progress, we are absolutely gaining power. I want to challenge Erica, but first make a quick pit stop in Saffron to grab TM29 Psychic. I then teach it to Diddy before starting the battle. I make the mistake of not entering the battle fully healed. This is going to end up costing us. Our super effective Aerial Ace plus Stab, super effective critical Psychic is way more than Victory Bell could handle. It goes down before it could paralyze us. Tangela then hits Diddy into Red Bar with Giga Drain. Man, Tangela did that. We then miss the knockout against Vileplume, Diddy gets taken out, and the battle pretty much falls apart from there. It feels weird to reset while Donkey is still alive, but I don't have a great feeling about using Pidgey's moves right now. I'm going to continue asking for feedback throughout this run because I'm loving this, but there are definitely a few rules to iron out. In the next attempt, I've fully healed, and we see a bit less hard focus on Diddy because of it. Erica spreads out her damage between both of our Pokémon, enabling us and our more focused strategy to bring down her team of 3. This has definitely been slower than my usual solo run, but that may well just be this particular combo. But like I just said, I'm having a ton of fun with this format so far. Next is Pokémon Tower. This time against Rival 4, it's going to be Growlithe joining his lead Pidgeotto, which is getting more painful as he hits both of our Pokémon with Intimidate, lowering our attack by 1 stage. The yawn tactics seem to be quite potent, so I put Growlithe to sleep while hard focusing the other side of the field. This seems to be a really good strategy, and in hindsight, I don't know why I overwrote Yawn. Well, I do know why, but it was still a mistake. We're not there yet, though. With his other teammates disposed of, I can then take out the snoozy Growlithe. I then quickly clear out the tower. Oh, wait, no I don't. I mentioned my levels being lower, and the level 30 Marowak at the top of the tower reminds me of that fact. First, he blows apart Diddy in 2 moves, and I foolishly run away. Running away from this encounter simply resets it, so now he's back to full health. He then wipes out Donkey Kong quite swiftly as well. Rats. We're not going to discuss the next reset to this Marowak because, well, my pride hurts. Just know that we do defeat him and move on to Sylph next. Aw man, my repels aren't working now either. There are learning opportunities all over this run. In Silphco, while clearing a few trainers along the way, I'm collecting all of the high-value items and TMs. I still haven't clued into the fact that my money is double what it should be while running. The PP restoring items on 5F are great to snag too. Again, this is my first crack at this format. I don't know what my late game looks like, and I'd rather have these items and not need them than need them and not have them. Let it be known that at levels 37 and 32, I know that our odds against Rival 5 exist somewhere between 0 and hopeless, but hey, let's check it out anyway. His team now has a few fully evolved Pokemon, including an Alakazam that can only use Future Sight. We're not gonna make it even close to him though, as we managed to tickle the rivals' leads while getting completely wiped out. Well, I hear Fuchsia City is nice this time of year. I start my trek down Cycling Road, taking out some frustration on the local tough guys. I'm sticking to the east path where there are more attack EVs. My endgame strategy involves our physical attack, and frankly, I'd rather be focused on Donkey than Diddy. Speaking of Diddy though, most of the way down the route he levels to 37 and evolves into Medicham. We get some fairly decent stat increases going from a BST of 280 to 410, but that isn't stellar. I have other plans for Diddy later though. It's then a quick cleaning of the Safari Zone and I want to face our next gym leader, Koga. Evolving does make Diddy feel quite a bit more powerful though. I'm able to bring down Koga's lead Coughing with a single stab super effective Psychic while Donkey Yong's Muck. Muck does have some accuracy shenanigans, but they all are local to himself. I want to delete these Coughings, avoiding their nasty smoke screens. I do just that, and both Coughings fall. As Koga's Ace Wheezing enters the battle, Muck falls asleep. I'm feeling pretty in control here. I hard focus Wheezing, and with him out of the way, it's a 2v1 against Muck. He wakes up and eventually hits Donkey with a punishing stab critical Sludge Bomb, but he clings on and we take the victory. I've actually neglected to buy vitamins, using the ones that we collected earlier before attempting Rival 5 again. We're a little bit more powerful than last time. Diddy has learned Calm Mind as well, a setup move that increases our special attack and special defense by 1 stage. Donkey puts Pidgeot to sleep and then starts healing himself with Slack Off while Diddy gets in 3 turns of Calm Mind. I then start going for the sweep. The more I'm thinking about and experiencing this format, the more I think that losing a main in battle but still winning is fair, as long as both mains don't faint. The consequence being that the fainted Pokemon gains no experience and I have to sit here wasting time watching my Lobies level up. Does this seem fair to you? Ah heck, let's watch Pidgey evolve. I love the evolutions after all. A consequence it is as well, as Donkey just keeps getting wiped out in battles and missing out on that experience. I can't tell how terrible that is right now though. We're only 2 levels away from evolving again, but that evolution, along with some massive base stat increases, comes with Truant. It's the crux of my initial idea though. With the rocket plotline cleared out, our next challenge awaits us at Saffron Gym. I'm again going to point out just how underleveled we're starting to be. Diddy isn't doing too bad, but is still 3 levels under Sabrina's Ace Alakazam. Donkey, on the other hand, is 3 levels lower than Sabrina's lowest Mr. Mime. I'm definitely just feeling the fight out, and we're not doing great so far. It's when Diddy misses Mega Punch and gets dropped by Mr. Mime's Psybeam that things start to feel really not good. One stat that Donkey does not have much of is Special Defense, and that becomes quite clear with Mr. Mime. Yes, Mr. Mime, again, using Stab Psybeam, takes us out from full. In the next battle, I apply some of that experience that I've gathered while doing all of the runs in the last few months. Sabrina's Kadabra loves going for Calm Mind turn 1, so I used both Pokemon to focus down Mr. Mime first. Not out of spite, it was just the better choice. Really. +1 Kadabra is then far more threatening than Venomoth, so I switch my attention back to him while Donkey smacks Venomoth. Diddy continues focusing the right slot, Mega Punching Alakazam while Donkey finishes Venomoth. Alakazam in Red Bar is then an easy cleanup, and that is how you double battle. I don't have much to report through the next section of the game. Throughout this whole run, I was pondering the next steps and thinking about the end game. I'm about to come to a realization that made this whole run come crashing down around me though. We're continuing to gain power, and given how underleveled I'm feeling, I make the call to clear out all of the trainers in Blaine's gym. While grinding in Blaine's gym, we see our final evolution. It seems that Donkey has been going a little bit too hard with his training, and the cumulative exhaustion of not having slept since before Misty has re-enabled our truant habits. I clear the rest of the trainers, and let's jump straight into Blaine. Blaine is going to be smacking us with 2 intimidates throughout the battle. Just like almost every other gym leader, he's going to take a second to figure out. I decide to start going for Calm Minds with Diddy, while Donkey smacks Growlithe for pretty decent damage. But they hit back for even more damage, and so despite the setup and best efforts of Diddy, we can't quite make it through after Donkey got roasted. Alright, it's time to enact my master plan, and for the run to fall apart. I backtrack to Rock Tunnel to finally teach Rock Slide to Donkey. It's a 75 base power rock move with 90% accuracy, and in the doubles format comes with the benefit of hitting both Pokemon at the same time, both with a 30% chance to flinch. I then scoot south to pass through the gatehouse from which we grabbed Return and surf across to this little tiny island. On it lies TM48's Skill Swap. Can you guess where this is going? Back in Blaine's gym, I'm all ready to take him on with my fancy new moves. I'm also going to be teaching Bulk Up to Donkey, which we picked up from Silphco. I choose to replace Yawn, which, as I discussed early, I feel was a mistake in retrospect. But here we are. It's when I go to teach Skill Swap to Medicham that we find a problem. And that problem is the same problem that I've encountered multiple times in the past, where I'm seeing information from new generations. Here is what I looked at on Pokemon DB. See? Right here. Medicham learned Skill Swap, hence the run was born. If we then switch over to Bulbapedia, check out this chart. Looks like Medicham wasn't able to learn Skill Swap until Gen 9. Son of a... Okay, change of plans. This video was intended as an introduction to the format and a chance to hear your feedback about it anyway. In order to not completely ruin all of the fun that I had planned, I do what I sometimes do for the sake of fun. I cheated. I dropped my save file into PKHeX, added Skill Swap to Diddy, and let's just keep moving.
Okay, I have this new move. I think maybe we should give it a test run?
Good thinking, Diddy. Go ahead and use Skill Swap on Donkey.
Whoa! Is this how you feel all the time? I feel incredible! I feel stronger than I ever have! What did you do?
You know, just my thing. It's a wonder you ever get anything done, man.
So the fun plans that I had from the start? Skill Swap trades the abilities of 2 Pokemon. My plan was to Skill Swap Truant onto Diddy while giving Pure Power to Donkey, doubling his already formidable base 160 attack. Along with his access to the setup move Bulk Up, increasing our attack and defense by 1 stage, this is suddenly one strong Kong. Well, not in this first attempt with the new setup. We get burned almost immediately, so it's like we don't have pure power at all. Okay, once more. Fwahahaha, feel the power of my giant rocks, Blaine. Fwahahaha. I use Skill Swap turn 1, but Donkey outspeeds Diddy, so our first Rock Slide hits as it normally would at -1 attack because of the Intimidate. A recurring theme in this endgame of the run is that Donkey's special defense feels lacking. Arcanine erases us with Stab Fire Blast, granted he does outlevel us by 11. Diddy along with Lapras's Surf can finish off Arcanine. But should this count? Should I have used Mist instead and left it all to Diddy? Probably. In this little piece of insanity of a run, I'm absolutely planning on bringing this duo into round 2. So I agree to help Bill in the Sevi Islands and aim to finish off the gym challenge. I only defeat the mandatory trainers in Giovanni's gym and then we face the man himself. Usually one of my biggest concerns here is losing speed, but the doubles format comes with an interesting perk in this battle. His team is stacked with Earthquakes, which hit every Pokemon on the field. Yep, mine and his own. With the exception of Dugtrio, his whole team is weak to his own Earthquakes, so including a Poison Point activation against Nidoqueen, we're getting absolutely punished with damage throughout the battle. But Giovanni helps us by taking out his own Rhyhorns both times. Donkey just barely hangs on at the end of battle, bringing down Nidoking. But if we'd taken one more turn, that poison damage would have been the end of us. Well, that's the gym challenge. Rival 6 stands between us and the league, and this is the point where I really started to understand the power of mixed teams in this format. Again, it may well just be the duo that I chose to run, but even against a bunch of first stage Pokemon, we end up struggling a bit here. Well, it doesn't help that Rhyhorn hits our primary damaging Pokemon with Horn Drill. If I'm not mistaken, that was a 36% chance to hit. Man, being underleveled is lame. I weighed my odds against 3 more Pokemon with a Truant Diddy and just took the reset. After getting my butt kicked a couple of times, it's time for a couple of changes. The reason I chose Metacham as Slacking's partner was because I wanted the full support role next to our juiced up monkey. In Celadon, I can go to the top floor of the department store to exchange various drinks with the little girl for these screen TMs. Diddy is going to be going full support. I've also been doing some grinding, so let's go back and try after making these changes. Now, this is where the endgame strategy really starts to show off its potential. It's already a great place to continue contemplating the win condition. Once again, Diddy gets wiped out, but honestly, Diddy's whole purpose is to help Donkey succeed from this point forward, and in the leagues, I won't have the cheerleaders to fill that empty space. Alakazam comes out and nukes Diddy with Stab Psychic, but Donkey has been focusing on that side of the field this whole time. Rhyhorn isn't super threatening as long as he doesn't hit with Horn Drill. We end up with a successful rival battle this time, which opens our path to the leagues. There aren't any changes that I make on the way, so let's jump right in. I just want to remind everybody again that this run is more about exploring and having fun with this new format than for me posting an optimal time. After all, this run doesn't exist in reality anymore. We're in the multiverse where exceptional content creators don't verify the information, then put hours of time into things that are incorrect to begin with. But I hope you're all having fun with me, because I'm having a lot. As we start exploring these league battles, I'm going to be skipping over a lot of wipes, but just know that I'm constantly playing with different strategies. Even strategies involving setting up screens first and then skill swapping to Donkey. At our low levels though, these battles are quite punishing. I stubbornly try pushing deeper into the league, but it's incredibly hard fought, mostly lucky, and honestly, I'd rather just show you everything that I learned. So, for the sake of brevity, let's skip ahead to after I've completed a bit more grinding and learning. Welcome back. We're now 10 resets and about 16 minutes later. Additional levels on Diddy are great, but let's face it, Donkey is who I'm focused on these days. We're now at level 48 over 3 damage rounding thresholds from our first attempt. Against Lorelei, I've discovered it's best to bulk up with Donkey while the skill swap occurs. Things are going okay, although Donkey is still several levels lower than her entire team. Diddy gets frozen and knocked out, but pure power Donkey Kong at +1 is pretty darn strong. We can just sit here, rock sliding away and smashing through Lorelei's remaining team. The biggest issue I had before, honestly, was Jinx outspeeding and shutting us down with either sleep or attraction. Not anymore. Lorelei falls. Let's move on to Bruno No. Bruno is another battle where I'm typically very concerned about my speed, but honestly, with our poor little distraction Pokemon Diddy and bulk up raising our defense, Donkey can take some serious hits through this battle. I haven't figured it out quite yet while running, but defeating Giovanni gives us TM26 Earthquake. Sure, it's gonna hurt Diddy, but poor Diddy is getting knocked out by the middle of the fight most of the time anyway. Pure Power Donkey continues going smash, and I haven't even mentioned the 153 effective power stab return that we're using for single target attacks. Return isn't gonna help us a whole heck of a lot against our next trainer though, the ghostly Agatha. This battle truly started to deepen my appreciation for moves like Safeguard. I had the TM for it in my bag, perhaps I should have considered it more heavily in this battle. The perpetual poison, pesky hypnosis, and perplexing confusion tactics wear down our 2 Pokemon quite quickly. After a couple of resets, I think I found my groove. I have a Chesto Berry equipped on Donkey and a Persim on Diddy. I skill swap while setting up 2 bulk ups on Donkey. Then on the 3rd turn, Donkey goes for Rock Slide, leaving Gengar at a sliver while annihilating Golbat. Her ace Gengar joins the fray while Diddy casts Light Screen, enhancing our special defense. It then quickly turns into another solo show for Donkey, but Diddy provided the support he needed to work through the battle. Even with the poison from Gengar's Sludge Bomb ticking away again, we're successful. Okay, Rock Slide tactics should make for an easy lance, right? Right? Yep, pretty much. I'm gonna accelerate the footage uniformly in this battle so that you can really see when I'm pausing to contemplate my move choice. This is a rarity in my solo runs, as I'm usually just pedal to the metal for the whole thing. I set up one bulk up after skill swapping and go for Rock Slide. It does decent damage, and I decide, what the heck, I have time, let's set up until I feel threatened. So I set up to +4, then really go on the offense. +4 Rock Slides from a pure power donkey are more than his Dragonairs can handle, and much more, including the super effective damage against all of Lance's flying types. Sweet, that leaves us with one challenge left in round 1, the champion. Going up against such a diverse team again is going to be giving us a fair amount of trouble. But don't worry, it's nothing that these two can't navigate. I start off the battle testing to see how much Rock Slide does. Not much, especially considering that Alakazam outsped and used Reflect. The big damage on Pidgeot was a crit if you didn't catch it. Alakazam quickly finishes off Donkey after that with a Stab Psychic, and yeah, I'm not going to try to play this one out. Well, if Alakazam is a problem, I should try getting rid of him right away? I go for Stab Return, which even before the skill swap is going to be far more than enough for the frail Psychic type. But he just had to sneak in a Psychic before fainting that also dropped our special defense. It's when Executor a moment later takes us down with Egg Bomb that I decide it's time for a change again. 4 minutes and as many resets later, I've dipped into my rare candies. I've used 9 on slacking, not to bring us over the 4 damage rounding thresholds, though that's kinda nice too, but more to bring our speed up. Alakazam has 159, and at level 60, we have 160. Golden. Now outspeeding and taking him out immediately, we see a bit more of the battle unfold. It definitely feels like we're in more control here, but with Diddy being perpetually distracted by Stardew Valley on his phone, and Donkey's hits not quite dealing enough damage, I start to feel like I've lost control again. Wait a minute, I think I see something here. Let's try again. 3 resets later, and I've dialed in my idea. What I'm now doing is completely foregoing Rock Slide. It's underperforming just enough that I'm finding that return and getting at least 1 knockout every turn is way more useful. I take out Alakazam and Executor right away, and now we're facing Rhydon and Pidgeot, who unfortunately keep shooting Diddy with sand attacks. Aw man, poor Diddy, but we are nowhere near done abusing him yet. In this battle, I consider Rhydon less scary than Pidgeot because of the accuracy, so I pivot to taking down the right side with returns, bringing down Pidgeot, Arcanine, and then Blastoise. Well, actually, Rhydon's Earthquake took out Blastoise, along with poor Diddy again. Well, I have been holding this in reserve, but I have some Earthquakes of my own, buddy. Rhydon absolutely refuses to go down as the champion pumps $12,000 of healing into a lost cause. Finally, we drop him. It's definitely the case now in this run where Donkey has caught up in level to what we're currently battling, and it's now very much a case of supporting our main hero. Donkey and Diddy clock in with a round 1 time of 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 11 seconds at level 60 and 54 respectively. We accomplish this with 36 resets in 8 hours and 42 minutes of game time.
Wow, Donkey, you sure are strong these days. I'm so happy to be your friend.
Oh, Diddy, I owe you so much for your help. I cherish you as a friend, and I'm so sorry about what's about to go down.
What do you mean what's about to...
Before entering the league, I completed Diddy's support set, stopping at the power plant and grabbing TM17 Protect. I did my best, little buddy. We're back to being underleveled by a fair bit, honestly, but at least Donkey is only barely so. Diddy takes a hard Ice Beam early while we skill swap to Donkey and bulk up. A single bulk up is almost all that it takes to knock out both Dugong and surprisingly also Cloyster. In hindsight, I should have gone for 1 more bulk up here as Dugong is more threatening and will spend the turn healing, but oh well. I actually don't even bother setting up a second bulk up and just continue smashing away at Lorelei's team with Rock Slides. I'm legitimately having a blast while doing this. What fun strategies or team combinations would you like to see in the future? Let me know in the comments. Poor Diddy is on the floor again, but our now main hero Donkey, with the help of his best friend, can defeat Lorelei's remaining Pokémon. Next is gonna be Bruno. I just have to interject with how strange it was for me to buy a handful of revives from the mart in the league lobby. I haven't bought a revive in FireRed since starting the channel. Anyway, Bruno's now Steelixes are loaded with stab earthquakes, so our first turn skill swap bulk up combo works great. I'm actually going to use Steelix's earthquakes to my advantage here. I go for return on the next turn, knocking out Hitmonchan and bringing Hitmonlee out. Diddy loafs, and then Steelix's earthquakes bring down Diddy again, taking a small chunk out of Donkey, but taking his ally Hitmonlee to red bar. Hitmonlee, who is faster than us, heals instead of attacking. The next turn, we fire off a +1 Pure Power Earthquake, shaking apart both of them in a single shot. Oh man! He brings out his last two, the stronger Steelix and his Ace Machamp. We outspeed both, hitting another Earthquake and one-shotting both once more. This is everything that I wanted from this run. Let's not forget too that I am 5 levels lower than that Machamp was. Bruno falls, let's check out Agatha next. Here we find ourselves at a bit of a sticky spot though. Crobat cuts Diddy down to red bar, while Gengar hits Donkey with Psychic for a bit of damage, but also manages to lower our special defense. Oh, my turn now? What a start to the battle. It honestly doesn't really get much better from there. Donkey does admirably, but in a 2 versus 1, Agatha has the higher ground, therefore the victory. I'm skipping us ahead again, 8 minutes and 11 resets later. I've dumped the last of my rare candies into Donkey, leveling him up to 69, nice, but this isn't my first attempt at this level. My goal was to outspeed her lead Gengar, which has certainly helped our situation because there are several resets where they could knock out Diddy before he could even skill swap. As you can see, we're taking massive hits and the battle falls away from us very quickly. This was the moment where my patience ran out. I was prepared to cheat, but I didn't want to just dump rare candies into my Pokemon. Instead, I dropped my file once more into PKHeX, but the only thing that I did was alter my IVs. We've gone from 0 to max 31s across the board. Let's investigate just how much of a difference that makes. It's actually fairly substantial, a rough increase across the board of 10%. Our speed, for instance, went from 183 to 206, with the 31 IVs accounting for around 11.1% of that total, unless my math is off. At 206 speed, we now outspeed everything on Agatha's team, which makes for a significantly different battle. We're also bulkier, and much to my surprise, Diddy actually makes it to the end of the battle at full health, and a poisoned Donkey is still in green bar as well. I followed the exact same strategy, but with those extra stats, it was way more effective. Let's check out Lance. Round 2 Lance definitely lulled me into a little bit of a false sense of security here. Usually his lead Gyarados only wants to paralyze you, but in this double setting, backed up by the lesser Dragonite, he's gonna start setting up Dragon Dance instead. This is another battle where we face a lot of Earthquakes, but 80% of Lance's team is the Flying type, so it doesn't really help us this time. After taking out Diddy, Gyarados finally paralyzes Donkey, and this is one of those situations that I just decided to bail on early. In the next attempt, I still haven't quite figured out Held Berries, but we actually manage a reasonably successful battle despite being paralyzed almost the entire time. I mean, poor Diddy gets shattered again, but we make it to his Ace Dragonite alone on the field. It's our lacking special defense that lets us down again because we've been taking some wicked strong physical attacks like a champ, but his Ace Dragonite's Outrage takes down Donkey. This time I have the leftovers on Diddy and a Cherry Berry on Donkey. This works out beautifully. I skill swap while bulking up to neutral attack because of the Intimidate. Diddy, by the way, if he survives long enough, is always just trying to put up screens, usually light screen for our special defense. I go for return against Gyarados, ignoring Dragonite for now. His lesser Dragonite's best move against us is Dragon Claw, which is significantly less painful when Diddy's light screen is up, so we can continue knocking down single targets at a time. Leaving Kingdra out would have been arguably better, but Stab Surf would have been roughly as powerful. Once Aerodactyl is on the field, I switch to using Rock Slide, so Lance burns a turn healing the lesser Dragonite as he's joined by the Ace. I'm going full in with Rock Slides now, taking out his Ace in 2 while missing and then getting a critical against the lesser. I'm so glad that I didn't use rare candies. Whew, alright, focus face, it's time for the round 2 champion. We're back facing a very diverse team, and it just so happens to be the most powerful team in the game. I start the battle with our usual shenanigans, a skill swap and bulk up. Then Diddy gets obliterated by a stab psychic while Donkey hits Rock Slide for some decent damage but no knockouts. Ruh-roh. Donkey is an absolute beast, but Executor is out shortly after, taming the beast with some tranquilizing powder, and we get taken down because of it. I wiped once more, exploring the battle, and this is what I figured out. Alakazam must go. He loves taking out Diddy, and with Diddy remaining on the field, it seems to make Heracross go a little loopy, thinking that I'm gonna hit him, so he keeps going for counter. Arcanine hits Overheat before I have a screen up, hitting Donkey for about a third while he bulks up. Okay, it's clobber time! I want to get a light screen up with Diddy since it was Blastoise's Hydro Pump that ended the last battle. Unfortunately, the way this lined up, Diddy is going to be loafing on the turn when Donkey goes for Earthquake and is unable to protect himself. The whole field gets cleared away. I'm actually getting excited while scripting this, like this was a ton of fun to play. I decide to not risk not one-shotting Executor and being put to sleep, so while the screen is still up, I switch to Return, taking him down while Blastoise sets up the rain. We are all that remain. A shell cannon turtle monster and a very wet, very strong ape. Donkey channels all of his might while screaming, "For Diddy!" and hitting one final +1 stab, pure power return, ravishing Blastoise and finishing the game. Man, that was a blast! Okay, so the run couldn't exist in reality because of poor fact-checking on my part, but I feel like this was a fantastic way to first experience this format. Donkey and Diddy clock in with a round 2 time of 3 hours, 21 minutes, and 46 seconds at level 70 and 58 respectively. We accomplished this with 49 resets in 9 hours and 59 minutes of game time. Well, that's actually going to be it for this video, everyone. I won't be pursuing my usual second playthrough finish this week. There are a lot of unanswered questions about this format, and before dialing it in and trying to optimize things, I wanted to get feedback from all of you about what you think. Your feedback, after all, is part of what makes this channel so exceptional. First though, let's take a look at our splits. Starting with both of these Pokemon unevolved with 0 IVs definitely put a damper on the early game. We managed to defeat Brock 22 minutes in, but the struggles continued, losing time in Mount Moon backtracking and needing to do additional grinding to evolve. As the run progressed, our two heroes definitely grew in power steadily until by the end of the game, Donkey was stronger, I think, than any Pokemon I've run. He just needed a little bit of coercing is all. That really reveals itself as we clear the round 1 league after a whopping 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then quickly follow it up with a round 2 finish of 3 hours and 20 minutes. Overall, I would say that this run was a ton of fun, but there are some points that I want to make. Before that though, I want to extend a special thank you to those of you generous to support the channel via YouTube memberships, Patreon, and Super Chat. You are all truly exceptional and motivate me to continue working hard to bring you the best content that I can. From the bottom of my shell, thank you so much. I feel like there are 2 main issues that we need to nail down with this format. First off, I don't want to start with 0 IVs in this format. I'm pretty over it in the solo run format as well, as I don't like that I've had to resort to cheating 100% of the time so far. So I'll be shifting to running Pokemon with 15s in all IVs in the first runs, a completely average version. Second would be what to do with battles when we have a main Pokemon faint. I feel like it shouldn't be a reset until both are done for, but using Surf like I did with Lapras was not cool. I should use the lowest impact move possible with the cheerleaders when they're forced into battle. But more importantly, did you enjoy watching this? If yes, what would you like to see in the future? I see a lot of potential for fun combinations, and this run was a ton of fun. I didn't go for the second playthrough to optimize today, but I'm happy to attempt second playthroughs to optimize these runs as well. What did you like? What didn't you like? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of, while you're leaving that comment, if you feel like I've earned it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to never miss a video. I have a goal of reaching 5,000 subs by 2024, and your engagement really helps my channel to grow. Thank you to everyone for your continuing support, and thank you for voting on my recent poll. As of today, the leading option is the Gen 2 Legendary Beasts. Oh man, am I ready to run those. I also have to give a big thank you to my wonderful girlfriend for helping me with some of the voice lines in this video. Love you!
Love you back.
Okay, it's time to play with some legendaries. Video over. No. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Take care, everyone.